Nets. I can identify properties of 3D shapes, and I can draw accurate nets of 3D shapes. So when we're talking about nets, no, we're not talking about this kind of net. We're talking about a mathematical net. A net is a pattern that you can cut and fold to make a model of a 3D shape. So if you cut and folded this one along its lines, what would it make? It would make a cube. So a net, you need to get this in your notebook, is a two-dimensional drawing of a three-dimensional object. So in class today, we handed out squares that click together. The students' job was to make as many nets of a cube as they could. So we had a little competition going on. These were some of them that they came up with. Some of these will not work. So we went through and decided, well, this one won't work because it only has 5 squares. This one will work. That is a different way to make a cube. What do you think? Will this one work or not? Nope, the two ends overlap. How about this one? That makes a cube. This one obviously doesn't because it only has 4 squares. Here was a tricky one. What do you think? It makes a cube. So we just went through each of these in class today and looked at the ones that would make cubes and ones that would not. So let's look at prisms and pyramids. Yesterday we talked about three-dimensional objects, a prism and a pyramid. So I want you to get them back in your notes. What makes the difference between a prism and a pyramid? Prisms have 2 bases that are polygon. So it doesn't necessarily have to be on the top or the bottom, it could be 2 of their sides. All their other faces are rectangles. So when you see a rectangle on its side and then it has 2 of the same bases, you are talking about some sort of a prism. Pyramids then would have 1 polygon for its base and all of its other faces are triangles. So see if you can name these shapes by their nets. Stop the video now and write the 4 in your notebook. When you think you have the 4 names, start it up again. Letter A is a triangular prism because it has triangles as 2 triangles and all the other faces are rectangles. B is a rectangular pyramid, has 1 base and all the other faces or sides are triangles. C is a rectangular prism. The 2 bases are these bigger 2 or these 2 or these 2 can be considered their 2. And then all the rest of them of their faces are rectangles. D is a triangular pyramid. Its base is a triangle and then all the other faces are triangles. So your job today is to draw some nets. Now, if you are good and can draw it this way and have it all connected, great. Your other job then is to label. For instance, this side would be a 3, because that is here, and here would be along here would be 6. So I also want you to label each of their sides. Now, I am not good at drawing connected nets, so what I would do is draw each of their bases and their sides and their faces. So I would say, oh, there's a 1 long rectangle for the top, there's a matching one for the bottom. I need a rectangle on the right side, I need the same rectangle on the left side. Then I need a rectangle on the front that's smaller and a rectangle on the back. I am fine with you making your net looking like this as long as you now label them right. So the top is a 3 by 6. So that would be the bottom is a 3 by 6. The side here is a 6 by 2, which means the left side is a 6 by 2. And the fronts are a 2 by 3. So your job today is to draw out each net. If you can make it connected, great. If you can't, just draw out each of the pieces and then make sure each will be labeled with their dimensions. So you're going to try this one. Stop the video now, try it, and then come back and see if you were correct. All right, let's take a look at what you have. First of all, let's look at its bases. I see two triangles, one here and then one over here. So I'm going to draw my two triangles. Then I see a rectangle up on top here, so one rectangle there. This is where it gets a little tricky. There's a rectangle in the back, and then there's a rectangle on the bottom. So this is a triangular prism. Now I need to label them. So this is a 6 by, well, I got to figure out that. When I look over here, it's a 6 by 8. So 6 by 8. 6 by 8. Now I'm looking at this rectangle right here. Well, its base is the same base as it's down there, so it's 15. And then its side right here is what this side is. So that would be a 10. The one on the bottom, well, let's do the one on the back. Right here would be a 6 by 15. And then the one on the back, or the bottom here, would be a 15 by 8. So again, that's all you need to do for the day, is draw out its net. If you can connect them, great. If you can't, you don't need to. And then label each of its dimensions. So your worksheet will look like these. Again, draw them out and then label each of the following one of them. So you have 4 rectangular prisms and 4 triangular prisms.